The hospitality sector says municipal rates and taxes are eating away at its revenue. Hotels are calling on government to lower municipal rates to assist with the post-lockdown recovery. The industry says it will never be able to create the jobs the country so desperately needs if municipalities continue to lump it in the same category as commercial property. Let's unpack this further with Rosemary Anderson, who's the chairperson of the Federated Hospitality Association of South Africa. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We do appreciate it. Perhaps let's just get one thing out of the way. What exactly is the hospitality industry asking for when it comes to municipal rates?
Well, Heidi, our occupancy rate is about half of what it used to be. So our occupancy used to be about between 60 and 70% for hotels. It is now down to 30%, not due to any hotel's fault. So proportionately, one's rates used to be about 3% of one's gross turnover. And now, because of our reduced turnover, the percentage of our rates is up to 10, even in excess percent of our gross turnover. I don't think there's any industry in South Africa where the municipal rates, are up to 10% of their gross turnover. So it's just not financially viable to actually be in the hotel industry at the moment. So we really want to continue employing all the people we want to employ. We actually want to thrive. But in order to do that, we really need the government to look at a short and medium-term solution to our problem until we actually get up and increase our occupancy rates to the normal levels.
Rosemary, how bad are the rates at this stage for there to be such a drastic call to ask for municipalities to reconsider the rates that they're currently giving the hospitality industry?
Heidi, they've always been high proportionately, so we would really like to have a total relook at the way rates are done and actually not be on the commercial rate that what we currently are on, industrial rate. So that's one thing. But the point is, as I just mentioned, is our turnovers are half of what they used to be. Our occupancy is half of what it used to be. So proportionately, the percentage we're paying in rates, instead of 3% of our gross turnover, it's triple that. It's just not sustainable. We just can't afford that. It's just not viable being in business. And we want to continue employing all the people that we employ, and that's why government needs to look at things. Just a lot of money is spent by government on new investments, on trying to bring foreign business to South Africa. I think the same amount of effort needs to be put into existing businesses to help them to survive. We're one of the few industries that was closed down for months, and then besides that, we were only able to operate on a very limited basis, only 50% of our area space. We couldn't have inter-provincial travel at one stage, no alcohol at other stage, reduced trading hours. Even currently, there's a 50% limit on your conferences and your events and all of that type of thing, which happen in hotels. If you went to any business, it could be the steel industry or anyone, and said, okay, guys, you can operate, but only 50% of your business. Not many businesses could operate that way. So the government really needs to look at the way they're treating us and see, is this a financially viable way they're doing that? Because we do not want any more job sheddings. And in fact, Heidi, if government did the right things, and we've actually given a comprehensive report to Minister Sisulu of all the things that are needed in hospitality and tourism to thrive in South Africa, we could actually employ another 1 million or more jobs. So the potential is there. We just need the government to create the right platform for us to do what we do best, and that is add to the economy and create jobs.
Certainly, and at the end of the day, it comes down to having a conducive environment for these jobs to be created, because the President has said time and time again, it's not government's responsibility to create jobs, it's its responsibility to create the environment to do so. I'm wondering if you have a percentage that you would like these municipal rates to be lowered, or is this just a discussion for now and you're hoping for this discussion to actually happen to come to a determination of how much you would want these municipal rates lowered?
Well, Heidi, they used to be between about 2.5 and 3% of one's gross income. So it should go back to that type of level. So in other words, it would be halved or actually only a third of what currently people are paying.
Let's move over to your engagement with government or those in the hospitality industry that, those in municipalities that need to make that decision. What has your engagement been like with government and those in municipalities about whether or not this is actually possible?
Heidi, I think we'd have to do it through COCTA because individual municipalities are not really coming to the table. We have engaged with municipalities. Cape Town, for example, agreed to give an extension with which hotels could actually pay their rates, but there was no discount and not what we're actually asking for. And there are just so many municipalities to engage with in the country that it would rather be a better decision from the department, from COCTA and national government to see, you want to preserve this industry. You really made life very, very difficult for the industry during lockdown. Now is the time to try to help the industry to stop the shedding of jobs. Our biggest problem in the country is a lack of jobs. More than anything, that is our big problem. And we're telling you, we're struggling to stay in business. We're struggling to keep on employing the number of people we're employing. So please come and help us so we can stay in business and keep employing the number of people we're employing.
So what's the way forward? Have you given government a deadline? Have you engaged with COCTA Minister? I know you said you've written a lengthy proposal to the Minister of Tourism, but what's your plan going forward?
Our plan going forward is to ask Minister Sisulu, which we put in writing, to actually facilitate the meetings with us. It's actually not just COCTA, it's also with the Department of Labour. It's a number of departments where currently the departments are hampering tourism and hospitality in South Africa. A good example would be the Department of Transport, for example. So within one of the departments, you, in order to get a license to be able to operate as a tour operator, for example, take tourists around the winelands, for example. If you'd like to do that, you've got to get a particular certificate. That department is basically stopped functioning. So people already who have got permits to be able to be tour operators, they're struggling to renew them. And if you're wanting to be a young entrepreneur and start up your own business, you're just not able to get that. So here we are stopping job creation, we're stopping tourism, we're stopping hospitality. Another example would be the liquor departments. We've got 9 liquor departments.
It seems we've unfortunately lost Rosemary Anderson, but we've got the gist of the story there. The hospitality industry, of course, asking for municipal rates to be lowered as they are really struggling to come out of the impact that COVID-19 has had on that particular sector. As you heard, they've written to the Minister of, or they're about to submit a lengthy proposal to the Minister of Tourism and, of course, try and get COCTA involved. It's going to be an interesting one to see whether or not they do agree to that. So that was Rosemary Anderson, who's the chairperson of the Federation of Hospitality in South Africa.